A couple of weeks ago, I went up to North Georgia to some mountains where a fella does some great wood carving, birdhouses. He does just about everything with wood. He's a real woodworker, and he makes wooden handles for knives. There's quite a long list of stuff he does. It's really nice stuff, but he's right at the very top of a mountain. The fella showed me some nice wood that he works with too, but he had a tool, and he said the tool was broken. And he said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "Well, what's wrong with it?" And he said, "Why do you ask a question after I ask a question?" Hi everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Tools. This is the tool here. It's a Ryobi oscillating sanding machine. I sort of have it upside down on my little workbench here right now because it's kind of hard to deal with. They're really heavy on top. They have a real heavy cast top to them. So this is actually the bottom we're looking at. And what I'm going to do is got the screws out of this, and we're going to go in and find out why this was broken and why this man gave me this lovely tool. So once we get inside, we'll have a look around, and we'll get this and just see what we can do with it. Here we go. This is a pretty heavy tool. Kind of something I wouldn't actually go out and buy for myself. So when the man offered it to me, I said, "Yeah, we got to have one of those. That's a pretty neat tool." So that's pretty cool. Basically inside, I guess we'll need a close-up, so let's stop there, and when we come back we'll be close. We'll be very close. Okay, we're back. Here's the Ryobi oscillating table, but from the underside. Really there's only three components here to look at, so we're going to take a look first at this here. This is the motor, electric motor, but it's a DC motor, so it has like permanent magnets and then just the armature inside. And these are where your carbon brushes would work off of. So this is component number one. And then the next thing we're going to be looking at is right here. This is this piece here. This is a small square little guy. He's a bridge rectifier. Now that's what creates DC type of electricity to run this motor. The AC coming in from the other side, followed back to, and we'll come on up here, and there it is. The wiring right here was burned up, and this is actually the plug. So this is where the feeds come in, and you have the neutral and the hot coming in from the outside world wherever you plugged into it. And so what we had to do was restrip these, clean the wiring, but also went ahead, and unfortunately it's a little too soon, but I've gone ahead and replaced the switch. I've got a new switch in here that I got off the internet, and unfortunately the old switch, what happens is, like I said, there's 120 volts between these two. That's quite a potential. So what happens is if you get any buildup, anything like that in here, you're going to get stuff built like right between these terminals. This becomes like a spark plug, and you can virtually short out. And that's what was happening right here. Now, as we come down here, we go back to the bridge rectifier. Now I'm looking at this and just doing a visual. I see no heat. I don't see anything black, no shorting, no bad connections. I don't see anything wrong here. So without actually testing with a meter or anything, this component right here, we can sort of say, you know what, I think we're okay. Now the other thing we do before we plug in, because obviously eventually we're going to plug this baby in, is we went to try to get a look at these the windings up inside. These are the windings that are right up inside this motor. And looking at the varnish work that's in there, it's very red, and there doesn't appear to be any problem. So I really don't see anything else wrong. Now, of course, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to have to free all this up and make sure that these bearings are lubricated. So I put a little bit of oil in here. Up at the front here, I shot a little bit of grease around here, a little bit of penetrating oil, just to get the mechanical part of it, because this actually has an actuated cam that works the oscillating part of this box. But really, electrically, this is it, the three components: the switch, the motor, the bridge rectifier. And at this time, only damage I could find was right here. Now, if that's the only damage we have, then that's pretty darn good and almost lucky. So let's come back here in a minute. I'm going to put the bottom on and close up. We're going to flip, and then we're going to plug this in, and hopefully we've got it. Okay, here's the old electrical connector right here, and I'm just sort of, you know, give you an idea what I've just cut the wire off. But there's the old solderless or stake-on type connector. That's what's left of the switch, and this is what you can see was all burned up. So you can see it was pretty bad. But that's just to give you, you know, an idea as to what it looked like. Well, the big moment has arrived. We're topside now, and here's our sanding disc. What I'm going to do is probably hold something white behind it so you can see it easily, because what it does is it oscillates. When it oscillates, this goes up and down and spins at the same time. So it does a really nice job of sanding. So it's a pretty interesting tool to have. Ryobi, here we go. Are we ready? Ah, baby. Oh yeah. Hey, that was it. Thank you this week for another episode 13, and that was it for Coffee and Tools. Thanks again. See you next week. Bye.